Guys, this is Mr. Joshy J, and this is your end of season Formula One review video. So, right, the F1 season has come to an end at Abu Dhabi. It has ran into December for the first time ever in its history, which won't be happening again next season. This looks like it's only a one-off, but still an interesting statistic. Anyway, that's the first time that the F1 season's finished in December. Anyway, I'm going to get on now to review and think who my driver of the year is, my worst team, and the best team of the year. Okay, right, so I'm going to start off with the worst teams and the worst drivers first, then the best teams and the best drivers. So, right, the worst team of the season by a mile has to be Williams. Absolutely horrific season for them. 1 point in the constructors. That's all. They got a point in that crazy German Grand Prix race with Robert Kubica, which I'm very sad for him. It didn't quite work out on his return, but the Williams is just absolutely awful. So, Williams definitely the worst team of the season for me. And the second team, this is going to be a bit of a surprise, but Haas, they have been so inconsistent, good some weeks, absolutely awful some other weeks. So, Haas are definitely one of the worst teams of the season. Alfa Romeo, I think there's been a bit of inconsistency with them as well. Kimi Raikkonen for that team has done an absolute fantastic job, but Antonio Giovinazzi, I believe next season he will do better. So but big inconsistency from Alfa Romeo. Renault, a bit of a mixed season for them, the work scene, because they were beaten by McLaren in the constructors, so bit of work to do for Renault. And Nico Hulkenberg losing his seats is an absolute joke in my opinion. Nico Hulkenberg is so underrated, it's unbelievable. Such a great driver. For him not to be on the grid next season, absolutely disgusting in my opinion. So, Renault being a bit erratic. But they're the teams who've definitely been a bit inconsistent to me. Williams, Haas, Alfa Romeo and Renault. Now, I think the worst drivers this season have been Robert Kubica. Fantastic he's come back and it's a miracle he's in a race car again, but it never quite worked out, Too many poor results, out-qualified by George Russell, the rookie, in every race this season. All 21 races, he got out-qualified. So, but Robert Kubica is one of them. Roman Grosjean, too many accidents, with him. So inconsistent. He's definitely one of my worst drivers of the season. Roman Grosjean. He can be good, but sometimes he can be so inconsistent. So, that's another one. And another driver, I believe, there's a bit of inconsistency. It's definitely, sometimes Sergio Perez in the Racing Point, he can be good, or sometimes he can be a bit inconsistent. Same as Antonio Giovinazzi. So, they're definitely the drivers who've been, in my opinion, the worst drivers of the season. And the best drivers of the season has got to be, Lewis Hamilton, Charles Leclerc, Max Verstappen, Kimi Raikkonen, Alex Albon, Pierre Gasly. Now, Lewis Hamilton obviously is my driver of the season, 6 world titles now, just one behind Michael Schumacher. Mercedes, they are my team of the season. the first team ever to win 6 constructors titles in a row. Now, back in October, I pre-ordered the 6 times constructors champions t-shirts on the F1 store. I emailed them saying that I had the payment come out in October and I still haven't received it. Then the F1 store replied back to me saying, due to high popular demand, there's been a delay in the supplier because there's been so many orders of the Mercedes 6 times Constructors Champions t-shirts, which to me is no surprise at all because it is unbelievable what Mercedes has done. Max Verstappen and Charles Leclerc, he's been a breath of fresh air for Ferrari, outperformed Vettel, most of the season. Oh yeah, Vettel is under one of my worst drivers this season as well. He's collided with too many drivers and, collided with his teammate in Brazil. Sebastian Vettel this season has just been so erratic. He's definitely out there, one of my worst drivers. Sorry I didn't include him just now, but definitely him. But Charles Leclerc has just been fantastic, He's come into Ferrari and he's gained that team new belief. It's such a pity Ferrari started off the season so slow, because it could have been an epic battle between them and Mercedes this season in the Constructors. Max Verstappen in the Red Bull's first season with the Honda power units, and I gotta say, the reliability on those Honda power units has been absolutely fantastic. Max Verstappen only had 2 DNFs, and both of them were not his fault. He was taken out in both those races. He retired. Lewis Hamilton, just like in 2017, finished every race this season. Lewis Hamilton's run of reliability has been absolutely fantastic. You have to take your hat off to him. 2017, no DNFs. 2018, just the 1 DNF, and that was in Austria when he had that hydraulics problem. Oddly enough, Mercedes suffered a double failure in that race. Valtteri Bottas, he started off the season with a victory in Melbourne, which that was a big surprise. He has done better this season, Bottas, but there's still some inconsistency, which he's got to work on that. So, Alex Albon, I've been impressed with him since he's been promoted from Toro Rosso to Red Bull. He replaced Pierre Gasly, who's absolutely awful in a Red Bull. But since Pierre Gasly has gone back to Toro Rosso driving a car, what he knows, he's been absolutely fantastic the last few races, Pierre Gasly. In Brazil, on the podium, second place. Toro Rosso's best results since, Monza 2008 when Vettel won in the wet. So absolutely fantastic by Pierre Gasly since he's gone back to Toro Rosso. Kimi Raikkonen for Alfa Romeo. Alfa Romeo scored loads of points thanks to the experience of Kimi Raikkonen, now 40 years old, and he's showing no signs of slowing down anytime soon. Absolutely fantastic by Kimi Raikkonen. Now, I gotta say, the team of the season up there with Mercedes, to me, is McLaren. They have been absolutely awful the last few years, but they finished 4th in the Constructors. Their best position since the 2012 season. The last time McLaren won a race was in 2012. So I'm absolutely delighted they finished 4th. Carlos Sainz, he has got to be one of the drivers this season. Absolutely fantastic. When Hamilton was penalised, Carlos Sainz got McLaren their first podium since 2014. Which is absolutely fantastic. A team like McLaren finishing 4th, that would do them a lot of good because they'll be further at the pit lane, and more importantly, they'll get sponsors Now, next season would be the last time they'll have Renault power units, because in 2021 they are going back to Mercedes, and I absolutely cannot wait for that partnership to be reunited. It never works out with them going back to Honda, but I'm buzzing for them to go back to Mercedes engines. I really hope that brings them some race wins. So, yep, McLaren are up there with my team of the season. Obviously, the team of the season is Mercedes. Just winning 6 constructors' titles is unbelievable. And Hamilton being my driver of the year, winning 6 world titles. Unbelievable. So yeah, but that was my F1 season review. Let me know who your team of the season is and who your worst team of the season is. Yep, as I said, my worst team of the season by a mile is Williams. Absolute horrific campaign for them. Bye bye.